Is Cyril Ramaphosa defending foreigners in South Africa by saying this?
Turn against people who come from beyond our borders. We should not allow ourselves whoring those who come from other countries, reporting, being at war with them, because it is un-South African. We've always had people from other countries, and if you want to know, and I say this because I was in the mining industry, the mining industry, Yarona, as we know it, was developed and built not only by South Africans, but also from workers from other countries, Mozambique, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Angola, Zambia, Eswatini, and so on. They all participate.
This, what you have heard, is something that we have to discuss about. I have written, produced, and published a documentary about this one. As you heard here, he said something like literally, South Africa was not built only by South Africans. South Africa was built by Zimbabweans, Mozambicans, Malawians, Ghanaians, and so on. So many other African nationalities. So in today's video, we are going to talk about that one because this is important to understand. Many South Africans, they don't like my videos because I do tell them the truth. But I prefer to be hated by telling the truth instead of being loved by lying to the people. So in today's video, we are going to understand where it started, from where it started, and how it started. And in the next video, you will be able to understand, because many people of other nationalities, of other countries, they see South Africans as xenophobic people. So these have to be well spoken, well treated, well taught to the people. Let me explain you from where it all began. It started when South Africa got colonized by the white people. These white people who came to South Africa did not want to hire South African people. And at that moment, they did not want to hire South African people because of what? Because they understood that South African people were politically organized, and they would, in a next or near future, demand for better wages, life conditions, and so on. So they would be not willing to pay South Africans according to what they would be demanding. So what they decided, as white government at that moment, they decided to not hire South Africans because they would pay higher, and they decided to hire people from other countries. And the first people who went to South Africa as immigrants were Mozambicans. These Mozambicans were hired during that Portuguese colony, because we are Portuguese colony, when we was colonized by Portugal. This made many people from Gaza province, Inhambane, and so many other provinces see its citizens going to South Africa looking for better lives. So if you go to the Google right now and type hostels, you will realize that these people who've been hired here in Mozambique, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Eswatini, and so on, they did not have a right to run a life in South Africa. They was inside of South Africa just as a human tool to make business only, to make the white guy's business running properly. Do you understand? So after this whole process going on like this and that and so on, people who've been exploited because they was being exploited. Oh, they have been exploited. After this process all, they decided, because they did not have more than 2 years contract. Their contract was between 6 to 18 months. So after this one, their contract was over or was ending and so on. So the life situation there inside was not that much good. So what they decided, they realized that there are so many people who you call Boer. There are so many people who works in farming constructions, and so on. And Boer were willing to pay. Imagine that South Africans were demanding something let me say, something like 1,000 rands per hour. And these legal or illegal, these foreigners were willing to work for less because they did not know their value, the value of their job, So they started working. And this one, as we had this first movement started with legal ones. They were not going to South Africa in a legal way. No, they were going legally. So after the ending of their contracts, they decided to go illegal because they knew that in South Africa, the life would be different. The wages was much better than it would be in their own countries. So decided to go back to those people who exploited them. And then they started working. They took the risk of working with no documentation, because in Mozambique, imagine that you're working in farm, and in this farm here, per hour, you do something like 12 meticais. In South Africa, your hour was something like 60 rand. So 12 meticais is less than 12 rands. Do you understand? So instead, even though they would be working and gaining something like 12 rands, it would be much better in South Africa instead of wasting their times in Mozambique. So they decided to go illegally to South Africa. And what did the Boer, the white guys, saw? Okay, so over here we have the unique opportunity to exploit these guys because they have no documentation. If you look at your GBT, if you look at the country's GDP, you will realize that you have so many money. You will realize that you have got enough money. But this money, 30%, 13%, it comes from this illegal labor. Because of what? Those companies like farming, constructions, and so on, they don't hire South Africans because they don't want to pay that much. And they hire these illegal in order to make money for them. So from that money, all that they are making, they pay taxes. They pay taxes. This illegal doesn't pay taxes. But those owners of the companies, they pay taxes. So from those taxes, something like 13% of their GDP, South Africans' GDP, is coming from illegal labor, So when Cyril Ramaphosa say we have to treat well the foreigners here in South Africa, he's not lying. He's speaking according to what the laws are saying. Okay, because you have the legals and the illegals. You know what makes many people in South Africa live illegally? Look, they are going to South Africa chasing for a job or looking for a job. And they reach in South Africa, and inside of South Africa, the job doesn't come in time. They have no money. Imagine you are coming from Maputo, for example, going to Cape Town. How much would you spend to go to the border each month end to stamp the passport, to get your visa in day? So it makes them stay inside. So it makes them stay in South Africa instead of going out. Because of what? Because they don't want to waste money, the money that they don't have, until they get job. Most of this, you see, this is the white people's problem. This problem, when you see black foreigners in South Africa, you don't act well. Go to my videos, check the comments, you will find out what I mean. In my previous video, you do see people who are texting me, who are writing the bad comments and so on. They doesn't want to understand. It's something like, okay, what the science say? What I say, because I do think that this is correct for me. So this is not right. So when Cyril Ramaphosa suggests people to act like this one, he's saying, okay, we understand that the country have been invaded by these guys here. So instead of splitting them, chasing them. Let us live with them. Instead of saying this and that, let us tell them to organize themselves, organize, regularize their documentation, and live here properly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is the thing. And I'm here to say this is not a South African problem at all. A black South African did not create this problem. These have been created by the white government, the white guy, during that apartheid time. Even in the end of the apartheid, this did not end. You understand what I mean? So, in the next video, I will explain you very well what it means. Because up until this moment, we had 4 xenophobic times, you know? The xenophobic attacks. We have 4 times. We have it for, like, at this, we had, you see. So this is not nice. And this one, you are doing the job to the white people. Do you understand? I will explain you in the next video. For now, I'm going. I hope you liked this one. Thank you for watching this one. I don't know if you like it or not, if you understood or not. No matter what you think right now, you better tell me what should be the future, because this one, we have this, you will never be able to stop this one. This will continue. No matter if you like or not, it will continue, because there are several industries gaining money from this one. So they will continue paying this one, sending money for this one. So you won't do anything. You can fight, you can do whatever you want. This will never stop. So we have to understand, instead of fighting like it, between us as brothers, why don't you teach illegal to regularize their process inside of South Africa? Instead of sending them away like this and that, and treat them like animals, why don't you change the way that you see things? Is my suggestion. I hope you liked this one. See you in the next video. I'm gone.